Lover or hater, Arianna Huffington is known for her big ideas. Ideas that had an even bigger payday when AOL came calling, purchasing her Huffington Post for a whopping $315 million. So what's her secret to success? Well, our Leslie Roberts sat down with her for a one-on-one chat.
She's outspoken.
This is the way you treat women, we know that, but not now.
Opinionated.
For a man to be called ruthless, you have to be Joe McCarthy. For a woman to be called ruthless, you just have to put somebody on hold.
And she is the Huffington in the news web giant, the Huffington Post.
So I remember when we were launching the Huffington Post, there were so many naysayers, there are so many predictions of failure.
Her name is Arianna Huffington, and she is no stranger to controversy.
There is a lot of legitimate anger out there, the sense that somehow the game is rigged.
She's the darling of political talk shows.
But what Rush Limbaugh is saying is off limits.
This is public.
And political opinion.
Every time I see you on a panel, you are often the only woman there. Is it still a man's world?
I think that in politics there are still more men than women, but it's changing. And sure, it's not changing fast enough.
But the woman named one of Time magazine's top 100 most influential people in 2006 had humble beginnings, a long way from America.
For those of you who have not heard me before, this accent is for real.
She was born in Athens, Greece, went to London to study, and it was there that she fell in love.
Everything that happened to me, my children, my books, the Huffington Post, being here in front of you, happened because a man would not marry me.
So she ran to America. The first chapter in a story that reads like a soap opera, marrying multi-millionaire Texas businessman and politician Michael Huffington.
You eventually fell in love with an American, you married one, you had some daughters who are American.
Yeah.
Is that also part of why you're there?
Well, I can't even think of anywhere else that feels like home. I mean, America is home. And I also feel that what happens in America influences the rest of the world.
When Huffington revealed he was bisexual, the marriage ended.
It was very, very hard at the beginning. I'm sure I speak for most divorced people when I say that, you got divorced for a reason.
Her marriage was over, but her political career was just beginning. Her first political bout, 2003, against the Terminator.
I just realized that I have a perfect part for you in Terminator 4. That's it.
She lost, but that didn't stop her. On May 9th, 2005, Arianna Huffington helped change journalism history, launching a left-leaning news website.
What's happening online is, for me, just potentially the golden age of journalism. Because of the transparency and immediacy it allows. It's just a very exciting journey.
With 270 million visitors to the site worldwide, the Huffington Post quickly became the envy of the online world. Tom Vassos teaches social media at the University of Toronto.
Arianna is everywhere.
Yes.
On the talk shows, in the newspapers. Over the last 10 years, she has exploded.
Yes.
Is she the Oprah of social media, of new media?
She's probably the closest thing we have to it now.
You see her as a successful business model? Is that the...
Absolutely, because she has understood the power of this multimedia environment and social networking and how to capture that environment in terms of creating a strong brand image.
But these two men say that strong brand image was because of them. They are Huffington's former partners, Peter Dow and James Boyce, and they are suing, claiming they came up with the idea together. On February 7th, 2011, Huffington was in the news again.
AOL is buying the Huffington Post news website for $315 million. The merger will create a media group with 117 million U.S. visitors a month, more than double that number internationally.
Vassos says Huffington was just what AOL needs.
The Huffington Post has premium content that they've been successful at pushing out into the marketplace, and AOL wants a piece of that.
But there is another thing the Huffington Post has that most companies don't: free labor.
It's not just the things she says, but it's the makeup of the Huffington Post, which, for example, has 3,000 bloggers. So people
Most of whom don't get paid. I mean,
exactly.
It's a great business model.
Exactly.
But this man doesn't think it's such a great business model.
Well, all these people have been donating their services to Madame Huntington now find out that the value of the property was $315 million.
Arnold Amber is a union rep for the Newspaper Guild. The Guild has launched a campaign against Huffington, urging her to pay up.
If people get paid for doing other jobs, they certainly should be get paid for doing journalism.
But so far, the lure of being part of the Huffington Post is greater than the controversy surrounding it.
Any regrets for Arianna Huffington in life?
The only regrets are to do with not relishing life enough, trying to do too much or being distracted while I was doing something instead of really being fully in the moment. And so that's something which I definitely want to correct in the years to come.